Recently, this company, QFun, reached out to me and asked if I would review their laminator on my channel. And I said, absolutely, I will. In full disclosure, this was given to me. I did not pay for it, but I told them, as I tell everyone, you're going to get an honest review about the pros and cons of the machine. So I'm going to tell you the pros and cons of this machine and show you the projects I made. I made a whole bunch of junk journal ephemera. I did have fun with this. Actually, I had an absolute blast playing with this machine. This is the QFun SL88 laminator. It's the 13-inch laminator. It takes up to 11 by 17 sheets, which is really super nice. And it comes with laminating sheets. It's also a cold and thermal. So with the thermal, you can make you do the laminating, and with the cold, I believe that you can buy sheets and you can make stickers. It will press the paper down, and you can make stickers, which is another thing that I want to do. I'm going to buy some more laminating sheets, and I'm going to try some of the cold lamination. So yeah, it does both, which I think is really fun. I had a blast with this machine. I made so much beautiful, beautiful junk journal ephemera with this machine. I did napkins, I did scrapbook paper, I did fabric, sari silk, I sewed on the plastic, I did everything I could think of, and I really put this machine to the test and had a really good time. So let me get into the process and show you what I did and some of the features. I do have this machine. It's a Xyron, and it does both laminating and stickers. I got this for like $3 at Goodwill with a whole bunch of these rolls. You buy these rolls that come in and out. And currently I do have laminating in there, but there's also sticker rolls. And you're supposed to be able to turn this handle and it just laminates your item. That's never worked for me. I actually have to find the end of the laminator and pull it. It seems to do better with stickers, but this is what I've been using since the early 2000s, I think, and I'm pretty sure you can still get these. But it has a lot of issues, and I often got bubbles, which was very annoying, and it really wastes the laminating paper. So I'm excited to try an electric version because this manual one just doesn't work. The first thing I want to check out is what kind of laminating sheets you get in the pack. You get a little sample. Oh, good. And there's a variety of sizes. I love this big one. You can only do, in this manual one, you can only do up to a little bit under 6 inches. If you try to do 6 inches from end to end and you don't have it in there perfectly straight, it's not going to work. So this is some nice big sizes. Whoops, that's stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4 sizes. So we'll have fun with that. So let's get these out of the way. Okay, so when you pop this open, I thought that this was pretty cool. It has some tools up here. So if you are just starting out in paper crafting, this has some neat little things. I personally don't need any of this stuff, but you know, when I go up to camp, maybe I can bring these with me. So there's a little paper trimmer. There is a little tiny corner rounder. That's really cute. Yeah, I'll bring these when I'm traveling. Or no, wait, this is the corner rounder. What is this? Oh, it's a little tiny hole punch. I won't take it out. Well, I guess I can take it out. It's a little tiny hole punch. That's very cute. Oh, with an extra blade for the trimmer. That's a nice touch. It's a little tiny hole punch. Very cute. Let's see. Hey, that's nice for making tags. Of course, I have my traditional hole punch that's in 2 different sizes, but this is really cute and fun. And corner rounder. If I can get it back in there, I don't know. And then you get some rings, binder rings, I think you call those. So, oh no, that doesn't go in there. I'm going to put that over here. It goes up here. So I think that's a really neat touch that it has those little tools, because you do need a paper cutter. Sometimes you want to, after you laminate something, you want to cut it down. So this is what it looks like. These are the different sizes that it takes: a 3, 4, 5, and 6. And this is what the controls look like. It's cold, and then either 3 mil or 5 mil laminate. What do you call that stuff? The laminate paper. You can get different thicknesses. Laminating pouches, I guess. And the higher the number, the thicker the material is. They sent me 3 mil thermal laminating sheets. There's the terminology. I'm new to this, so I will learn as I go. Okay, let's plug it in and start some projects. Now, the cord is not very long, and I have a stand-up desk here that I film at, so I'm going to have to get like an extension cord and hook this up. Okay, and let's just turn it on. And there's a red light, and it says it has a 60-second warm-up, and it will turn green. Oh, I have to do the mode. So I have 3 mil laminating sheets, so I'm going to put that on 3 mil. And let's think about the first project we should do. I think I will start simple while I'm experimenting and make maybe a little tag or something. And that didn't take long at all to warm up. They did warn you in the informational brochure that the first time you use it, it's going to smell, and it is really bad. They said it's burning off the lubrication or something, and I have asthma, so we'll see if I start coughing. I kind of would have liked to have done this outdoors. The smell is that bad, or with a fan or something. I thought the first thing I would do, this size right here, which is just under 9 by 6 1/4. This is made in China, so they're probably using millimeters. That's why it's not exactly 6 inches, but this seemed to really lend itself well to a bookmark. So I'm going to put this in. And then I have this, so this was just cut out of a master board, and it's kind of floppy, flimsy. And this one here is off of an actual old book, and it was already lined with the old newspaper like that. And I wasn't sure what to do with this because I love this, but it's very flimsy. So let's just give this a try. I hope it doesn't ruin it. I probably need to flatten it out as much as I possibly can. And then put this over the top. And then you put this end in first. And I'm going to try to make sure it's straight. And it's feeding it in. This is nice. I don't have the big crank handle that I'm trying to do on the manual Xyron. It's very quiet. This is fun. So far, I do not see any bubbles. Ooh, I don't see any bubbles, and it looks like this is going to make a really cool bookmark. I love how torn and ratty it is, but it has the book page on one side and the actual spine on the other. So I'm going to let this cool off and then I'll cut them down. The next thing I want to try is in the fall, New England is known for its foliage. People come from all over the world. And I'm starting to run out, but I always go out and I collect leaves. And whoops, what I've been doing with them to preserve them is putting Mod Podge on them. But I would much prefer to laminate them. And then I have a hydrangea bush outside, and I love to collect, I need to get my tweezers. I love to collect the little tiny petals from my hydrangea bush. And then I have other things. This is kind of, see, they're all falling apart. This was a beautiful fern. So this year I can maybe start collecting some things and laminate them. Let's try this guy right here and see what happens. So I think in an effort to not waste this whole thing, I'm going to make a few things here. I want to try to maximize. Ooh, let's see. Oh, that's another leaf that's stuck on there. Whew, this thing is stinky. And how about this? I can't remember what this was from, but it's way too bulky. So that will just have to go on a journal cover, and I'll spray it with some fixative. But let me find a few more leaves and kind of separate them a little bit, because I could make some specimen cards with some of these little tiny leaves. That's pretty. I loved these little delicate leaves. I can't remember what they were from. These are all from up to our camp in northern Maine. And when I go up there, I go foraging for these beautiful things. Try not to disturb them. Uh-oh. So these aren't completely flat. I'm especially a couple of these leaves. And what I read also is that the rollers are really close together in this machine, so that helps to keep any bubbles out. So let's see if it smushes these down okay, if that's a word. Oops, there goes a leaf. Hey, that looks pretty good. Hey. I'm going to leave that flat and let it cool down on a flat surface. And it looks like there's a bit of a bubble right there, but that's where the thick spine of the leaf is. So that's not the machine's fault. The rest of them look really good. Okay, so I'm going to lay that flat over here and let it dry. And I can make some specimen cards and Polaroids with those. This is my bin of textile scraps. Sorry, I don't have a lot of room on my desk in my filming area right now, but I thought maybe I would take out a whole bunch of fabric scraps from here and see if I can make like a pocket or a tag or something. I have little pieces of sari silk. We'll try a bunch of different fabrics. What if I used one of these that's about junk journal pocket size. This is approximately 6¼ by a little over 4. Did I already tell you that? I'm not sure. And I'm going to put this under here because I think this is going to be a little easier for me to see. Maybe you too. And what if I kind of just make, okay, because of the static, I'm just going to put something on there. What if I kind of make a master board, but with scraps of fabric? That might be fun. Let's try it out. That's fun. Great way to get rid of the scraps too. Make sure everything is within the edge. Static didn't fight me too bad on this one. Move this into the camera view and let's put it in. That's really fun. I'm gonna again just lay it flat to dry, and I did go a little too far down there, so hopefully that doesn't cause a problem and it doesn't start to come apart. But I'm going to probably make this into some kind of a pocket for my journal. I'll show you at the end what I've made with this. I also found this piece of sari silk, and I thought this might make a really pretty bookmark. So let me take one of the bookmark size sheets and we'll try another piece of fabric here. It is wrinkly. Hopefully the machine will sort of iron it out as it goes through. And because I don't want to waste this, I'm going to try to find other things to put in here. And I have another very, very old, delicate book spine that has paper on the back. So what I do is when I deconstruct books, I save all of the spines in my little yogurt jar here. And then I can craft with them later on. So I think I'll put that here. That will be nice. I can throw some of these in there. These are sayings that I like that I typed on my 1940s typewriter, and I tried an experiment with putting coffee stained paper in the oven and I left it in there too long. So I've never used this because it's so delicate, but this laminating it is a good way to kind of support things that are too delicate. So I just used my tear ruler to tear one of these out. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do another experiment. I'm going to put a piece of tape, just regular Scotch tape, on the top. And I wonder if that's going to do anything. I wonder if it's going to kind of heat it up and make it look like old tape. I have no idea. You're going to find out with me. I'm sorry some of this is off camera. I'm just am running out of room here. This is so much more fun than that crank handle thing that I've been using, the Xyron crank handle. I could sit here and do this all day. Use up my scraps and mass make. It's Saturday. That's what I'm going to do today. Okay, did not do anything to the tape. Nope, you can't even see the tape, actually. But hey, it was worth a try. But that sorry silk is going to make a really nice bookmark. Okay, what is next to experiment with here? By the way, I did find out that you can have glossy laminating sheets and matte. So the next time I am going to reorder some sheets, I'm going to use up these ones that came with this in a matter of an hour or so, because I'm having so much fun. So I'm going to get some more supplies, and I'm going to try the matte as well, and I'll do that in a separate video, because not all of us like shiny in our journals. Another idea I had was to make a photograph. I have these lovely, beautiful ladies in my shop. It's a digital kit called The Artist's Wives. And over in my Patreon, we did some journal toppers with these. And I have a bunch of these left over that printed out too small. So it might be fun to do one of these and kind of make it look like a photograph. Oops, wrong side. So I'm assuming this is going to be really simple. It's just a regular piece of photocopy paper. That is going to be really nice in a journal. How about if we try one of these big sheets now? The large sheet is around 11 by 16, a little over 16. And so I did have to cut an inch off of my 12 by 12 paper. I'm sorry, it's 12 by approximately 16. So I had to cut this down. It will not do a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I cut this down to 11. And then the 1 inch that I cut off, I'm putting over here, and I thought these will be very nice for belly bands. It would be nice if I opened this, wouldn't it? I can just see myself. I'm glad I caught that, because while I'm talking and filming, I can just see myself putting it in like that. Okay, so a couple of belly bands. And then I've got some space down here that I don't want to leave open. So I have a sticker that kind of looks like a pharmacy thing, but I'm not peeling off the sticky. I'm going to put it through and see how that does. And if this works, then I'm going to use, there are only 2 sheets this size. I'm going to use it to preserve a photograph of my husband's grandmother that he wanted me to do something with. Okay, this is going to be hard to show on camera. And that came out perfect. I mean, there is not a single bubble on here. So nice. So this could make a really nice waterproof journal cover, or a pocket, an envelope. You'll have to wait and see what I make with this, but I think it's safe to say that it will not ruin my husband's grandmother if I put her through here. It's a very old photograph, and there's an old, isn't she pretty? And there's an old newspaper article about his grandfather who pioneered anesthesiology. So I'm going to put those in here and preserve them for him. My Patreon members from March are getting some film strips, as well as these die cuts, so I thought it might be fun to throw a couple of those in here too. See if they fit. Yeah, to try to maximize this, this space here. So I need a little something to go there. And that came out beautifully. And you know what? The edges of this old photograph are kind of thicker than the rest of this. I think this was in an old frame or something, and there isn't a single bubble on there. Loving it. And then the film strips, and I just threw a little stamp in there. Quite cool. That's the last of my very large sheets. The next thing I want to do is take some frames. These are die cuts and they're embossed. And I want to put a bunch in here so that it has the laminate here. And I could put something in here right now so it's laminated in the middle, and I think I should do that. I'm not sure what it's going to do with the embossing, if it's going to crush it. It will be fun to see. And I need to find some fussy cuts to put in the center here. And I think these will make beautiful little embellishments for my journal. Or probably most of this stuff I end up sending to my Patreon members. Okay, make sure I have a nice border. Close this up. And let's send it through. Oh, I'm excited about these. Might have to send my Patreon some of these and then list some in my shop. And you know what it actually did is it brought out the embossing. You can actually see the embossing a little bit better. Might be a little bubbly, but I think it's going to adhere very, very well. I can't wait to cut these up and get them into a journal. I think next I'm going to try one of these gorgeous napkins. So I cut this down to 11 by 8. Oop. Static. There we go. Center it in there. Oh, I could have cut it a little bit bigger. That's okay. Smush this down. I'm going to try to get some of the creases out of the napkin as much as possible. It's in here very crooked. Either that or I cut the napkin crooked, but it's okay because I can trim it when I'm making my ephemera. And that came out just beautifully. It didn't do well with the fold in the napkin. You can kind of see it, but that's my fault. I could have addressed that before I put it in here, but look at how it made the colors pop. Look at the difference. Wow. Between the napkin alone and the laminated version. Just beautiful. So, okay, and let me see if I'm going to be able to separate this. I'm going to have to cut it. I could just ruin this if I do this, but I'm going to give it a try. And you know, this is not getting overly hot. It's safe, feels safe to be on my desk, and I thought maybe it would overheat if I kept using it, but so far it seems okay. Let me just cut into this and see what it did with the back side of my napkin. I might need a, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, it worked. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm not going to pull this apart because I might, I mean, I've already made like a, I am pulling it apart. I'm too excited. I've made like a gift bag. I made a gift bag. That wasn't, just totally was not what I was expecting. Yay! Okay. And if I do decide to cut this apart, now we have napkin on one side and the gloss on the other. What a beautiful cover, or a pouch, or a gift bag. I could totally make, if I sit there and figure it out, I could totally make a bunch of bags with these. I think so far napkins are my favorite thing. All right, I'll show you later what I've made with this. Okay, so I have put this machine to the test. Sorry for the glare, but there's no way I can get around that. My light is up there, and these are laminated. So let me push this stuff out of the way and show you one at a time what I ended up making. And I'm going to save the best for last. So the first thing was I did these film strips, and I have my junk journal idea book that we're making over in Patreon. It's getting very, very full, but I always put one of everything in here. And so now we have, sorry, how am I going to deal with this glare? Now we have the laminate here, so you can put anything that you want under there, and it's going to show and still be a really cool element in your journal. That would be nice to put it there. Or you could just stick something under there, or even on top of it. I think that's really quite beautiful. So it worked super well with scrapbook paper. Of course, they don't make this machine just for junk journalers. So it has its uses, definitely, for making lots of junk journal ephemera. This is a part of a masterboard that I cut up, and I just cut it into a tag. What I'm finding that I really like about this, well, this came apart a little bit, but if you just use a single sheet of paper, it's not coming apart. Like on my other machine, I always had to leave a border or it would pull away. This seems like the laminate is really adhering to the paper or fabric, and so you don't have to have that border. I love that. So on my tag here, I'm just going to quickly glue this on. Okay, so now we have a very nice and beautiful tag, and that's a great way to use your master boards, is laminate them. In terms of preserving old photographs and whatnot, I'm really happy with the way my husband's grandparents came out. This is going to help preserve this for a long time now, and especially this newspaper article. It was starting to tear, and it was not long for this world. So now I can do something, a little something with this, and it's a great way to preserve really fragile things. I had a super fun time with the bookmarks. So the book spine bookmarks. Again, this was a really fragile but beautiful spine that fell off of one of my old books. It had some old book page on the back, which was really starting to fray and fall off. And I knew that I wanted to make a bookmark out of it, but didn't really have a good idea as to how to do that. So I laminated it. I did round the edges because it is a little bit sharp when you leave the square edge there. Rounded the edges and just used the little hole punch that's provided. Put some trim. This is antique trim. And I have a bookmark. And this one I didn't make into a bookmark. I didn't want to cut into it. I think this is going to be something that I have my third or fourth idea book here. But I think this is something that's going to look nicer on a page, or I might put it, it says Bits of Talk About Home Matters. And I want to do something with this, maybe put it on a page where I can journal about my home and housekeeping and the things I love to do, cooking, not cleaning, but cooking. So I made a couple of bookmarks. This is also a great way to get some sentiments together or labels. And this again was really fragile paper that I had typed on. And now it's nice and durable to put on the cover of one of my journals. Or I could just put it inside and have it be a pocket. I wanted to see if I could sew on the laminate. So this is the one from my Artist Wives kit, and I left a large border around this because I probably want to put some paper under here to make this a little wider, but it sewed really nicely. Very durable. With paper, you can't do closed stitches because it tears your paper. But once you laminate it, the stitch turned out beautifully. I'm not sure how great this is for your sewing machine, but I have a sewing machine just dedicated to my paper crafts, and I clean it regularly. So this now is, after I put a pretty piece of paper behind it, this is now ready to go on a cover of one of my upcoming journals. Very, very pleased with that. And I just did this sticker. I didn't take the adhesive or the paper off, so I left a border. But like I did with the napkin, let me trim this and see if it now becomes a laminated sticker. Let's see. I'm going to trim off all 4 sides. And let's see if this comes off. Ah, it does. Look at that. Look at that. So there's the sticky. That is awesome. That is cool. So now I have a laminated sticker that I can stick onto something when I'm ready. So fun. So fun. Oh, here's another bookmark that I made using one of my master boards. And then this is the piece of sari silk that I laminated. Not quite sure what I'm going to do with this yet. It's super, super beautiful. Maybe stick it under there or something, I don't know, to make a side pocket. I do not know. Let me know what I should do with this if you have an idea, but it's so pretty. Such a beautiful piece of silk, and now it's a cool element for my journal. I did take the 12 by 12 sheet of paper and I cut it up. Once I realized that I didn't have to leave an edge, I cut it up and I made an envelope. It doesn't stay closed very well. I made an envelope and a belly band, and they do like to bow up like this when you start folding them. I used a bone folder and everything, so I'm not sure how this is going to work. It would have to be modified a little bit, I think, in order to really work well. But once you stick it in your journal, you know, and you close it, it's gonna flatten it out. I didn't decorate this at all yet. It was just an experiment. And then the belly band, I think what I would have to do for this is tape these flaps down, which then my belly band is only this wide. And if I really want it to stay flat. Let me see my smaller book. Find a page to put this in. Yeah, go check out my Patreon. We have you'll see in the collections at the top, you'll see the Junk Journal Idea Book, and all of the videos for that are in one place for you. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to put that in, put that there. Maybe just throw a little flower on there. Put my other tag in there. And there we go. Oops, look at the glare. Sorry. So there we have a belly band and a pretty tag. These frames turned out gorgeous. I think my Patreons in April are going to be getting a lot of laminated stuff. But this one I fussy cut out. I think I do want to show you the glare on this one so you can see that the embossed areas actually pop a little better when it's laminated. So this one I fussy cut. These I haven't fussy cut. I just left the square there. But look at how gorgeous. Let's pop one in our idea book here. I mean, this is even beautiful for a journal cover. Not on this one, but I'll save that for another one. And I think I will just put tape across the bottom so that I could, since this is see-through, I don't have anything in front of me, but I could stick something pretty behind there. So let me just do one piece of double-sided tape. Actually two, because I'm using the 1/4 inch. I think it looks pretty right there with a little bit of those words showing. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I'm having so much fun with this machine. Now this, I'm not going to cut apart right now because I don't know what I want to do with it. I want to save it for a project that I'm working on. I have a very specific project that's kind of botanical, that with some Edith Holden pages and whatnot that I'm working on. And so I don't know if I want to use a circle punch and cut these out, or I don't know what I want to do with it yet. But this, again, it's a beautiful way to preserve those little delicate flowers. I'm quite sure, knowing what I know about dried flowers, that you would have to dry them first. You couldn't put them in here wet and press them. They would get moldy. It just wouldn't work out. So dry them properly, press them properly, and then you can laminate them. But this is going over into my stash. If you watched my recent video on my favorite 3 punches that I love, this is my new favorite punch. And I'll link that video in the card up above. But I wanted to try punching the edges of this. So let me just trim it down. I think it'll go through the punch very nicely. I don't see why it won't. Let's give it a try. Oh yeah, of course. I figured that would work. Okay. Oops, forgot one side. All right. Hopefully you can see that. It punched perfectly. So you can sew on it, you can punch on it. That was good. For this pocket here, where I used all the different pieces of textile, what I wish I had done, which I will do next time, I'm learning, I wish that I had set all of these onto a vintage piece of paper. This is another really delicate piece of paper, but I want to have that showing through the back. And if I glue it on there, the glue and the tape is going to show. So I'm going to just glue on the backs of where the fabric is for this time, because you don't want yucky glue showing through. I love the dimensionality of having your transparency with something under it. Or I could have just adhered this to one of the book pages in my journal. Lost my scissors. Well, actually, you know, this is so delicate. All I have to do is tear it. I have a sentiment for later. Ooh, there's one. Me. Okay. I just had a little cry. I didn't mean to ruin this piece of paper. This was my dad's favorite song that he used to play on the guitar when I was growing up. And I found it recently. He recently passed. And I did not mean to tear this. I didn't recognize it by the other side. Oh, I can find a way to salvage it. It might just have to have this laminate on the back. Oh, I'm very sentimental about this. And oh, look. Oh, okay, now I can have happy tears, but the glue's still wet. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy right now. So what I'll do is I'll put this back together, and now I can laminate it and keep it forever next to a photograph of my dad or on my piano or something. Oh, phew. Okay, so what I'll do instead is, this is a little too big for either of my journals because I was thinking that I wanted it to be a pocket like this. So I'm going to save that for later. One more project I wanted to do that I thought of when I was doing the old photographs. I have these two photographs that I have kept. I don't know who they are, and I've shown these before, and it just makes me so nostalgic to see these. So this was in a box of ephemera that I won at auction, or our local auctioneer gifted to me. I can't remember, but it's a heart shape, and I believe that this gentleman's heart was broken by her, by this beautiful woman. This, as you can see, was torn in half, and this is her as well, and the photograph was torn into bits. And then somebody taped it back together. I don't even know what this is, some kind of paper with glue or something, and somebody taped it back together. Now, I've always wondered about, I've always wished that I could know the story behind this. Did they get back together? That's my story in my head, that they got back together and they repaired these photographs. So I do want to preserve these with the laminate. And then I found this little broken heart charm in my stash. And so I think I'm going to put a little charm on the edge of one of these and keep it. Okay, I can't find a bulb pin, but what I did is I laminated them. They turned out just beautiful. Love the tape and love the postcard on the back. I will never use these in a journal except to maybe stick them into a pocket for my own personal journal. I was looking for my bulb pins. This thing's getting... The smell is going down, but it's still... I don't want my face right over it. But I was gonna put a bulb pin here and then put this charm on it, but I must have given all my bulb pins to my Patreon members at some point. So I can't find anything to stick this onto, but that's what I'm going to do with that, and put this over here in my personal stash. So now let me show you my most favorite thing, and I tweaked it a little bit and did some other things with it. My most favorite happy accident was when I made this bag out of the tissue. And what I'm going to do is I am going to store all of my little laminates right in this bag so that I know where they are at all times. Now they're all nice and organized, which you know me, I must be organized at all times in my studio. And now I can go put this in my rack. I have a rack where things go in this way, where I store my 12 by 12 paper pads, and it's just so beautiful, and I know where all my laminates are. But I took this one step further and decided to make a smaller version because I have these napkins. I got these at the dollar store and I was really excited because the image is so beautiful on them. But when I got them home and opened them up, they're white all through here. This is the only image other than the border. So I've been kind of hanging on to them, wondering what to do with them. Well, I made a little pouch like that one by leaving a border on 3 sides, a border of the laminate, but I cut off a little bit at the top, and now I can pull this apart. Gently. And now I have either a little treat bag for my Patreon members. I can put some little pretty things in here, but this one is going in right into my idea book. And I can stick some things in the little pocket and have a pouch in my journal. I think this is my favorite thing to do with this laminating machine, but it's been great. It has lots of uses, especially for those of us who love to preserve old documents and memories, do memory keeping. It just has a ton of uses. Let me know if you have other ideas for how you would do it. And right now they're offering 20% off. It looks like a really good deal. I'll have the link below, and I hope that you get one and can do all these fun things too. But thanks for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.